Okay, today we are going to unbox and review this, which gives me a problem right at the start because this product, I don't know how to pronounce the name. It is the Decaker, don't know, desktop laser engraver. Let's have a look inside the box. So, we've got a user manual. Let's have a look. It's got illustrations in it. It looks like it should be fairly clear. We'll figure that out later. So let's put that aside. And then, ooh, very nice packaging actually. This packaging is custom made to cushion this device. So it's done okay in transit. So let's have a look at how we get this out. I think I'll take the whole of this out of the box. And we can set aside those packaging materials and take things out calmly and carefully. So let's have a look. So that looks like a USB cable in there. That's a little screwdriver and some screws. There is a mains power supply here. Now that could be a problem. I don't have a socket for that. Might have to use an adapter. There are a couple of little samples of thin plywood and card. A USB drive. And the device itself. So let's see if we can. Oops, there's also a there's a piece of acrylic there with some holes drilled in it. I think that might be part of the device. And then the device itself. So let's pull that out and have a look at it. Right, well, it's a smart looking device. Let's have a closer look. So we've got a fan on the back there. I think that's just to make sure, I think that's just to blow the smoke away from the thing you're engraving. There are controls, touch button controls on the top here. And let's have a look inside. So there's the control board there. USB socket and power is there. So there's the control board, there's the laser. I'm not going to try to move that. And you can see it's got XY axis control. And focusing of the laser is done manually here. So that all seems fairly straightforward, doesn't it? Now I see what this is for now. That's a piece of acrylic to go on there, and I think we're going to find that that's coloured so that the laser doesn't shine through it. Yes, in fact I can see that's a green piece of acrylic, transparent green acrylic. So that's to protect our remaining eye from the laser, and that will fit in there, and I presume that's what those screws and screwdriver are for. Okay, anyway, let's read the instructions and then get the software installed and we'll have a play. Now I should mention at this point that this review sample was provided free of charge by GearBest, but as always I will keep my review as objective and factual as I possibly can. I don't give good reviews just because people gave me free stuff. There's a link in the video description to buy this on GearBest. That is an affiliate link, which means if you click on it and buy that way, I get a small commission. If you object to that idea, then please feel free to Google it up yourself and avoid using my link. Okay, the software is just a thing called scarve that you drag out of a zip file that's on the disk. So let's see what happens when we run it. Okay, well there it is. Now this is where I will need to consult the instructions, because even though it says this is the English version of the software, there are no labels on any of the controls. So let's see what all of these controls do. Okay, well it's got a thing for creating text. Oh, that's for rotating. Okay. Well, it appears to be quite difficult to move things around once you've placed them. Okay, well, the machine has connected because it's done something. So, let's start. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Well, let's try loading an image from a file. The software has a save function here, but I can't see anywhere where you can actually load an image back in. So it seems to be the case that getting an image on there is as simple as dragging it in. Let's see if that's true. Oh, well, there it is. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've managed to achieve so far. We have managed to laser engrave a tiny, let's just get the focus right here, a tiny atomic shrimp logo on this piece of thin ply. But let's see what else we might be able to do. Okay, so let's go again. Okay, so what do we think of this laser engraver now we've had a chance to play with it a little bit? Well, build quality is pretty good. Let's go through a few of the things that I like about it and maybe a few of the things that are not so good. Bearing in mind this is an entry-level device, it's pretty cheap, so we ought to set our expectations accordingly. Things I like about it, it has no base plate, so you're not restricted about the size of material you could put inside of it. You can reposition it. So actually, even though it's got quite a small workspace area, you could actually work on some quite large patterns if you carefully position it. Now, I don't know how easy that would actually be in practice. The power of the machine seemed pretty adequate for a device of this price point and nature. I think it's a 1 watt laser, or that's what the spec says. And we managed to get some reasonable results. It was okay, and I managed to engrave a picture of Edward Woodward on a piece of wood. So power was okay. It's not that quick actually. It took about 20 minutes to do that one little picture. It's not that quick a device. It takes maybe half an hour to print even quite a small image. It only seems to be capable of raster images rather than vector. So cutting pieces out might not be quite so easy with this device. It really is for engraving. So cutting card to a vector shape, using a vector shape may not be possible or easy. So we had a little play with a few other things. So we managed to engrave a picture of Keith Lemon on a lemon, and a picture of Kevin Bacon on a piece of bacon. So it's quite versatile. Software's a bit clunky, the manual's a bit weird, and despite all of the images, it's, I don't know, you'll figure it out. It's one of these things where I think if you're prepared to accept a bit of tinkering, a bit of figuring out, and a bit of experimentation, you're going to do fine with this. Actually, it's not an expensive device, so it's cheap enough to have a play around with and just find your feet. I couldn't get the text function to work at all in the software, but that may be some limitation of my machine or the drivers. So there we go. That is the Decaker I don't know how to pronounce it, laser engraver. There is a link in the video description. Now bear in mind there are two different models of this. There is a 1 watt and a 1.5 watt, and actually when I looked just now they're the same price. So I'll put the link to both in the video description. So I hope that was useful. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.